Welcome to another installment of the news review segment right here on the AM show. Here we are, getting it down.
Yeah.
For God and country.
Here we go.
Good morning.
Here we go again. Yeah, come on,
Charlie.
Dan. You good? Oh, this is Ghana made. This is Auntie B again. Smart clothing.
Auntie B, where say me enemy who and then make a tree. News review, no back for make a tree. Just kidding. Anyway.
He makes me beautiful dresses every day. So what I wear is made in Ghana, like it's handmade.
Right.
Yeah.
So right before we dig into the papers, Mama V, very important. Today happens to be World Maternal Mental Health Day, a very important day. And especially in these times of COVID-19, it is important what mothers have gone through, what they've been through in the cycle, nursing mothers, pregnant mothers. You know, during the period of the lockdown, for example, you would ask yourself some of what mothers had to go through when they were locked down. You even wanted to access healthcare. Sometimes there would be challenges. You'd be stopped here and there. So quite a lot to think through on a day like this. There's actually a statement that has been put out, and maybe we'll just take a brief look at what exactly it says. There's a statement, and it actually is. I'll just take a brief look at it. It's from the Basic Needs Office in Ghana, and it highlights World Maternal Mental Health Awareness Day, which is today, and the theme is Journeys to Recovery. The event being organized is meant to raise awareness, influence policy, and change attitudes towards maternal mental health issues. And it's intended to highlight how much the COVID-19 pandemic has changed the way maternal and mental health services are delivered. Hopefully, in the course of the day, we'll be bringing you more on these, but a very important, crucial matter, in fact, to highlight at a time like this when mothers are having to, do everything they already do in the midst of COVID-19, Mama V.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's concentrate now on the newspapers. I've got the Daily Graphic, the Finder newspaper. I see the Custodian, the Daily Statesman, the Daily Guide, and the Ghanaian Publisher. These are the papers that I'll be taking a look at.
For me, the Daily Dispatch, the BNFT, the Business and Financial Times, Ghanaian Times, the Accra Times, and Republic Press.
Okay, so let's start, I guess, with the Daily Graphic newspaper. On the front page, sustainable health financing critical. Current arrangement can't meet SDGs, according to President. But the picture that accompanies this headline is that of Mr. Dan Boche, Minister of Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development. He was reading the President's message. More tales of missing babies pop up. That's a story that I will be telling you much more about. Details in page 16. Government reduces petroleum taxes from 17 Ghana pesos to 9 Ghana pesos per litre. We will see if this reflects today. We're expecting that the stations, the fuel stations, will make the necessary adjustment, but certainly we're not taken kindly to the fact that there's been this kind of increments. And now it's still, take the 9 out, you still be in the range of 6 cedis, and that's quite significant still. On page, let's do the center spread of the Daily Graphic newspaper. GGA commemorates Press Freedom Day. Engineers sign an accord for standardization of engineering education. And then a delegation from the Accra Metropolitan Assembly and Africa Environmental Sanitation Consult, the research and consultancy firm of Jospon Group of Companies and sanitization giants, are in Kigali, the Rwandan capital, to understudy the country's waste management system and good environmental and sanitation practices. On the back page, trading at the Takrade Central Market, popularly called Market Circle, has ceased as traders have finally relocated to a temporary trading area to pave the way for the reconstruction of the 90-year-old market center. And this is what we hope that other municipalities and districts would learn. You need to prepare a place for them and relocate them temporarily whilst you fix the main structure. So certainly a good thing that the the municipality is doing. And then police hunt for a man over wife's death. He's a 45-year-old, and he's alleged to have murdered his wife, Amefriye, 38, at Edumasa in the Asante Central Municipality of the Ashanti region. Kwesi Choko, currently at large, allegedly butchered his wife of 17 years last Saturday on their way to the farm before absconding. The couple have 6 children. The body of Amma was found by a police search party upon a formal complaint by her father when the couple failed to return home on the day. So more of the story on the back page. There's the police PRO in the Ashanti region, ASP Ahianyo, who said the police were currently on a manhunt for the husband on suspicion of murdering the wife. Okay. All right, that's it for the Daily Graphic.
Let's take a quick look at the Daily Dispatch this morning. Protecting your ballots. An educated polling agent must be loyal. Interesting because former President Mahama has been talking about some of what happened in 2020 and his own party agents. NPA reduces fuel margins by somewhat 8 pesos. That is also there, but some are not impressed, while others say it's a step in the right direction. Of course, there was that meeting between major stakeholders yesterday. The country has issues, but we will get there. Gabi Asare Ochre Dako is the one saying that, well, issues we do have. Get there, the question is when. We cannot punish MPs over misconduct on January 8, 2021. That's according to the Member of Parliament for Bekwai, who also doubles as the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joe Osewu. So I'll just take a quick look at that. The story says he has revealed that despite the House setting up a committee to investigate what he described as shameful conduct of some elected parliamentarians during the election of the Speaker of the House on the night of January 7, 2021, the House cannot punish anyone for the conduct. The reason? He says the unconstitutional conduct was not, those who perpetrated the unconstitutional conduct were not sworn in MPs and hence cannot be held into contempt or held in contempt with parliamentary laws. Mama V, I have a big problem with this because I think if lawmakers, legislators, those who make laws for us cannot be held accountable when they err, then no one should be held accountable in this country. I don't know whether you're seeing the logic in here, but if you, the people in charge of making laws that govern everybody in this country, if you are above the law, then we have no business following any laws in this country. I'm not trying to foster chaos out there, but how can we say this? You say they were not parliamentarians. Were they citizens? Can a citizen on a day like that go to parliament and do what they did? If an ordinary citizen cannot do it, a parliamentarian, whether he has been sworn in or she has not been sworn in, must face some penalties. I'm not saying go and throw them in jail, but there must be something to show that, oh, we have erred. You say, you call it what? Shameful conduct. Yet the shameful conduct cannot be punished. I'm sorry, we're a crazy country. Very crazy country. That's it with the Daily Dispatch.
I feel your fire this morning, Ben. Just calm down. The Finder newspaper is the next paper that I would go through. On the front page, MP's murder. Judge threatens to dissolve jury over trial delays. This is certainly very worrying because everything was set for them to proceed. And I'm talking about the former Member of Parliament for Buakwa North, JB Dankwa Edu, and the judge is threatening to dissolve the jury should they delay the trial. It was actually one juror who was absent because he was before another court apparently, and the judge had to wait for about an hour, and he still didn't show, and so she was forced to adjourn the case again. But she's saying that this shouldn't happen. If it does happen, he's going to dissolve the whole jury. But there was an apology and a promise that the incident will not be repeated. So trial had commenced before a 7-member jury with prosecution led by Mrs. Sefako Bacha calling its first prosecution witness. The court was expected to hear the evidence of the second prosecution witness in the person of Stephen Apreko, but as you know, that did not happen. So Daniel Esiedu, aka Sexy Don Don, is being held for murder and robbery of the former legislator at his residence at Shiashi near East Legon in February 2026. Also in the dock is Vincent Bosu, aka Junior Agogo, being held for conspiring with Esiedu to rob the former legislator on that fateful day. They have both denied the various charges and have been remanded into lawful custody by the court to reappear on May 6th. So that's where we are with this matter. Just on that same page where I picked details
Can I
of the
just
story.
chip in briefly? I hope it doesn't get to the point where they have to reconstitute the jury, because that would be more time spent going back and forth. Recently, Ahmed Suale's family has been up in arms with the bit that, this whole issue has been protracted. That's another one right there. And we don't need any extra time on it. Let the right thing be done. And I think the jurors also ought to sit up.
Absolutely. So yesterday we mentioned briefly about a man who was alleged to have stormed the offices of National Security, NIB now.
National Intelligence Bureau.
Yes, after the arrest of those who are alleged to be involved in fake currency. He organized a press briefing yesterday where he told the media he essentially denied his involvement and also denied that he stormed the offices of the intelligence outfit and, resorted to all the things that he's alleged to have done. So that denial is in the paper. You can read details of that. I think there's a specific area of, you remember that the statement. It's interesting, isn't it?
Because the Daily Graphic reported that categorically that this is what the people, saw him or heard him say or do.
So let me read his side of it as well. The National Security in its statement to the media said Alhaji Bando had claimed to be a presidential staffer at the castle and the client of Yasser alias Syrian, who was allegedly involved in the printing of fake currency. The statement said that he drove to the National Security headquarters, verbally assaulted the leader of the operation and vowed to free the suspects. He was aggressive in his conduct, according to the statement. Let's see. And I thought I would get a direct reaction to that, but not. But essentially yesterday, Alhaji Ahmed Bando says that they should go over and look at their CCTV cameras at the premises and confirm if he really was engaged in what he's alleged to be engaged in. On that same page, page 4, still in the finder, 2 suspects, George Opoku and Ernest Yabuabo, 21 years old, have been arrested by the Odoko Police Command for allegedly terrorizing and robbing innocent persons around Bawe and its environs using their motorbikes. Details of that arrest and the fact that the police are investigating the incident as efforts are underway to arrest a 3rd suspect. A good breakdown of the story is right there. But if you go back to the front page, let's see. Subsidies on fuel totaled $3.1 billion in 10 years. Critics prefer spending it on development projects. So this is Elvis Dackle, the editor of the Finder newspaper, who's put a beautiful piece you might want to read to get a better understanding of where we are with regards to this. I think that will be it for the Finder.
Republic Press now. JB's murder case, judge threatens to dissolve jury. You just took a look at that story. Are we close to the tipping point? Find out on page 13. Anodompred denigrates hashtag fix the country protesters, apologizes after backlash. Fix yourself, right? We're fixing ourselves, but let's fix our institutions. Let's fix everything. Let's fix the legislature as well. Yeah, let's fix the legislature. Let's fix government. Let's fix everything.
Will the protest happening or not? Police say
that one.
There's an imposition.
Is it Vomao? But it's interesting, right? We could have elections. I mean, we could have campaigning before the elections and all of that in the midst of COVID. But, there are 2 sides to this. The Constitution guarantees something. On the other end, we have COVID. I'll leave the police to do their work. I think it was Ifiatenge yesterday speaking to these. I found it very interesting. And then the response from, I think, Mr. Vomao. So let's leave it at that. But it appears they are bent on going ahead with this one. Social distance demonstration will be interesting to see. But Mama, this is one that comes off our show yesterday. Teenage pregnancy surge. Men should zip up. Girls should close their legs. Otiko Jaba Afisa Jaba said that yesterday. And this is a story that our very own Echo, Sam, Derek put together. So proud of you for that one. You can check out details on page 7 of the story. It succinctly captures, the headline. $14 million Veep mansion rots away, squatters, weeds, rodents take over. I'll highlight this story because it's been some 6 years or more since the official residence, or what was meant to be the official residence of the vice president, has been in such a state at the Brostito Avenue on the Kumoji Hospital Road. The building has become a haven for squatters and rodents and giant weeds, according to the paper. You remember Asumdwe Park and a similar issue. So I'm asking myself, from Saglemi to all of these abandoned projects, now we have this one, and it's $14 million. Even if the Veep is not going to use it, can we find some use for this? Even if it were a library where people can go and read, our young ones. I mean, why let it go waste? I don't get it, but the details of the story are right there on page 3 of that newspaper. So those are the highlights basically from Republic Press this morning.
All right, let's do the Daily Guide newspaper. On the front page, Chiefs Langards face jail over land deals. I think I explained this in one of the papers yesterday, said Dennis J, spelling it out, explaining the new law and the punishments. Kaswa cops killer plead not guilty. And I didn't sack Domolovo. He retired. That's our president speaking.
Is it?
To the CNN, but we are well aware of how things played out. Kaswa teen killers, 19 and 16 years. There were issues with the age. I remember the Attorney General asking for clarity in terms of the age. It looks like that's
now it's been confirmed.
And so they are 19 years and 16 years of age. All right. One is well over the maturity date in terms of he's an adult. And the one who is 16 is certainly a child per the definition. All right, let's see what else on page 3. I didn't look at the cartoon yesterday in the paper, but they're apologizing if anybody took offense. They said that was not the intention. On page 8, Chris Atto marries third wife. This was
that question right there.
Making the rounds, and then it's here in the paper, and then
fine boy Chris. Fine boy Chris.
So we know about the first wife, who was a Nigerian.
What's her name again? The Nigerian.
I can't remember her name, but yeah. And then the second wife, who sadly passed. And then we're told that he's tied the knot again. We don't know if this really is true, but if it is, we certainly wish him well.
If it is, and if the picture there is anything to go by, then we know that he loves his beautiful women. Yes.
Stop listening to worldly songs. That's a call from Yaosiki to Christians. He used to be a rapper, now a pastor. He says born-again Christians cannot be patronizing secular music because it is a thing of the world. All right. Okay.
Should I push you to find out what your take is on that?
Oh, no, please don't.
I shouldn't. No.
On the back page, there's the Alhaji Bamed denial. I mentioned that a while ago on the fake currency claims. And then also the misbehavior so-called at national security, which he denies. Mourinho returns as Roma manager. Is back to Italy, apparently. And then woman official gets 10 years in sexual abuse probe. This is FIFA banning Haiti's under-20 women's team supervisor, Nella Joseph, for 10 years on Monday as part of an investigation into multiple allegations of sexual abuse of female players in the Caribbean nation. All right, that's it for the Daily Guide.
I'll go through a few more headlines very quickly. Some of them have already been put out there, so I'll ignore them. I'm looking at the Ghanaian Times newspaper now. Government sets up complaints office to investigate and sanction culprits. But this call, put Ghana first in all that you do, the South Dine NCCE. In fact, Mr. Sena Bosun Amedenu Sena Southern District Director of the NCC, has called on citizens to put the country first in all that they do. I tie it into the hashtag Fix Ghana bit. If we put Ghana first, whether as leaders or followers, I believe we shall get to that point where we'll have the sort of Ghana we dream of. So that's something I felt I should highlight. And 14 die in road crashes in Upper West region from January to April. That's it. The number represents a 100% increase over last year's figure of 7 for the first quarter of the year. The number of reported road crashes in the region also increased from 32 for the same period last year to 39 this year. Let's just stay safe on our roads. Mama, I'll just wrap up with this final headline in the BNFT. What do you think about this? Government mulls considers taxing call services of WhatsApp, Zoom, Facebook, et al. So right now, WhatsApp caller. One share,
yeah, Brett.
It go hit you.
Yeah, Brett.
Count. Anyway, so that's basically it for me with the papers.
Let's see, is there? Okay, not much time. So I'll just go back to the Daily Graphic newspaper on there's more tales of missing babies popping up. There's last week. So this is Iyoko, the Iyoko boss, the executive director, commissioner of police, Mr. Frank Edu Poku, retired, who's been speaking to the Daily Graphic and talks about an incident that happened last week. He was speaking to the Daily Graphic last week about a January incident of a woman who had gone to the 37 military hospital and was later transferred to the Susan Clinic at Latebiokoshi in Accra by the doctor on duty, Dr. Kwashi. Susan Clinic happens to be his private clinic. She delivered her baby. She said it was a natural birth. She had the baby cry, only to be told later that the baby's lungs were not properly formed and therefore the baby could not survive and the body had been disposed of without her knowledge and consent. There were other complaints that the commissioner or the executive director of Iyoko also talked about. This is another person who is actually secretary of the Mortuary Workers Union of Ghana, who also said that his wife had gone to deliver, not at the Suzanne Clinic, but this is another facility, had twins and was told later that the twins couldn't make it. He had to pay some 15 Ghana cedis for them to dispose of the babies. So lots of things coming up, but apparently
I'll tell you something.
Babies are later adopted. They take a lot of money for that. It's still being investigated.
This tends to be the modus operandi. I mean, I'm not saying in this specific case this is what happened, but it tends to be the modus operandi. So they bury the baby without letting you know. They tell you the baby is dead and all of that. Only a few days ago at Kwame Nkrumah Circle, a gentleman whose story I did on the same issue, he also had twins. Guess what? Same story. Oh, one of them has died. Where is the body? Produce the body. The hospital in question, one of our public facilities, till today, the matter is before Iyoko. You get it. Yeah. So I feel this is something that really ought to be looked into. I mean, this is basically selling human beings. That's what's happening.
Yeah. All right. Good to know that Iyoko is certainly on this beat. We would leave you to explore the rest of the stories that we have on myjoyonline.com. This is where we have to live and make way for sports. There's plenty to talk about. Manchester City, they've booked a seat. Will Chelsea join? I hope not.
Madrid will be joining. Madrid will be joining Manchester City.
Yeah. All right. Stay for sports. It's coming up right after this.